So in the second video, we're going to add a couple more styles to this web page, but so far it's looking pretty good. We have a structure here. The colors are ugly, but we can at least see where our divs are. We've styled the banner text, we've styled the paragraph text here, and we've given the image a style. What we want to do now is work inside of the navigation div, and we're going to change this so it looks more like a link menu. So let's go back to our CSS file, and we're going to see in our CSS file we're going to go to where it says the div navigation, but we're going to move on to this part where it says navigation unordered list. Okay. Now what again this is saying is inside the div called navigation, I want you to do something to the unordered list. And the unordered list is actually the menu that we've listed. It's that list of links that we have there. So first of all, we want to tell it that list style type equals none. Okay, that basically says even though it's an unordered list, dear browser, please don't give us bullet points. Okay, so just basically saying don't give bullet points to our list. We're next going to add a font size of 14px. We're also going to add padding of 5px. And if we only give that one value for padding again, that means that it's going to do 5 pixels of padding all the way around. And actually, it's going to push the content on the inside of the unordered list 5 pixels all around. We'll see how that works. Then we're also going to add a line height, a line height of 30px. And line height is basically a lot like the double spacing function in Microsoft Word, where you see you can do double spacing, single spacing, 1.5 line spacing. In this case, it's just basically saying whatever line text is on, make it so many pixels high. In this case, we're going to give it a lot of space to show that this is a menu link, okay, or a link menu. So we'll say save, and let's go back and reload our menu. So it's changed our links by giving it more space. It's given it padding 5 pixels all the way around. Okay, and what we've done here is change the size to 14 pixels. Okay, now, but these are hard to see right now, so what we need to do is make these an easier to see color. So let's make these white. Let's go back to our CSS, and underneath the navigation unordered list, there's an option called navigation unordered list list item anchor tag. And basically, again, what that is saying is when you see a navigation div that has an unordered list in it and a list item that is an anchor tag, I want you to do this to it. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to say, again, list style type none, just to make sure that those bullets don't show up. We're going to change the font size actually. We're going to say font size 20px because that menu we had there it's not really big enough to see. And because we're changing the font size below this one, this size is going to override this one. But we could probably just delete that one right up there. Okay. And then we're going to change the color to white. So # 3 Fs. That's an easy one to remember. We'll say save. Go back and reload. There we go. We have a more recognizable menu here. We have these white links that are easy to hover over, click on. We'll go straight to Iowa State with the first one. We'll go straight to the English department website with the second, and we'll go to the Moodle homepage with the third one. Okay. Now the next thing we want to do is we like this white background, but maybe we want to add a background texture using an image. So we can grab any image and use that as our background. This isn't always the best idea, but for the sake of learning how to do it, I'm going to show you how we do this. So before we do, let's go back to our menu, our folder, And in our folder, we have this image called background.jpg. It's this kind of gray fabric color. We're going to make that the entire background for our page. So let's go back to our style sheet. And right under where we say begin your styles, we have this selector called HTML. HTML is a global selector that says anytime there's space that isn't styled by the style sheet, do this to it. So any space in the browser that isn't styled by the style sheet, I want you to do this particular thing. Right now the background is white, and I want to show you what happens if we change the background color. Let's just change it to a gray color. We'll hit save, go back to the browser, and reload. We've changed it to gray, but we don't really like this gray, so we're going to add in a background texture. Okay? So the way we do that is, let's delete the background color, and we're going to add in a link to our image. And the way we do that is we say URL, parentheses, single quote, and then because it's on the same level as our style sheet, we're going to say background.jpg, single quote, close parentheses, and we'll hit save. Okay? We're going to do one more thing here though. We're going to say background repeat. Now background repeat asks, are you going to repeat this image? In this case, we're just going to say yes, we want it to repeat, so we'll say repeat. If you only want to show the image once, you can say no repeat. Okay? But in this case, we'll just say repeat. Close that and say save. Let's go back and load it. And there we have it. We have this very nice textured background. It looks a little bit like cloth. Now this is where you should be with your site right now. If you haven't gotten up to this point, just take some time to catch up. Again, this kind of work takes a lot of practice. You're going to be making a number of mistakes right now, and that's fine. But to get good at it, you have to get your hands dirty and practice with this. So I would suggest, even when you're done with this video, to maybe play around with the sizes of these divs. Maybe try to add another image. Maybe try to float something in a different place. Change the look of the banner. Things like that. Just play around with it so you can get comfortable with practicing that whole syntax of the CSS and HTML. Okay? And then you'll be using those skills to work on the homework assignment for week 2.